Welcome everyone, I'm your host Tammie Pike, and today on Inspired Biz Conversations we have the beautiful, the game changer, Lisa Entwisle. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi Tammie.
So a little bit about Lisa. Lisa is a change agent. She's also an integrated life and wellbeing mentor, a corporate wellness consultant, author of Babyweights, Bond with Your Baby through exercise, conversation facilitator, event creator, facilitator and host, and a connector and curator of awesome women. Lisa helps women with their confidence, creativity, clarity, and overall well-being to pursue their passion and achieve their lifestyle goals in a way that's unique to their own personality and style. Lisa creates space that allows people to grow by accessing their own wisdom, a space for courage, risk-taking, vulnerability, creativity, self-trust, love, respect, and confidence. She strips back the layers, cuts through the BS, and removes the overwhelm, helping her clients integrate their knowledge and map things out in a simple and realistic way to build a complete picture of their visions. In other words, she helps peeps turn their information into transformation, whilst also considering their individual circumstance. Lisa is a strong believer in real connection, collective wisdom, in collaborating and drawing on the expertise of other professionals, both for her own and her clients' needs. She's very passionate about people feeling safe to show up and speak their truth and feel comfortable to embrace their unique self. Lisa's mantra is connection is medicine. Oh, how divine is that? It's like you're just a powerhouse of, bringing women to themselves and to create, the life, the career, the business, whatever it is that they're being drawn to do in a real authentic way.
Yeah, I definitely try to do that. I definitely, I believe everybody can do that. And so sometimes we just need somebody like to hold a hand or a mentor or guide to just help us just get over the overwhelm of sometimes believing that we can't do those things. So just helping someone really draw on their own wisdom and access that so that they can really bring their gifts to the world, or they can live a lifestyle that they want to live for their physical health or their well-being or their relationships or their work.
That's amazing. And so you do so many different things in what you do right now, but also with creating the Babyweights and, really from the beginning, you're wanting to help women in their journey as motherhood and journey later on throughout their lives. So what actually got you onto this path of wanting to help women?
Well, I think that I've always been interested in the whole health and well-being area. So in the beginning, it really wasn't about necessarily helping women. And even now, it's actually isn't just women. I really like helping people. But I suppose there's a difference when I help people with women and with men. There are some similarities between the things that come up, but there's also differences. And so in a group situation, I definitely like to help women because I think that there's a lot of magic energy that happens when women gather in a room together. So in a group environment, I probably prefer just to have women, but on one-on-ones, I actually do help both. But the reason that really led me to doing all of that, I think I always was into sport and exercise and health and well-being, and hence knew straight away that I wanted to study that. So I went and studied 2 degrees, and I studied the human movement, so the physical education, so all the human physiology, human exercise physiology and all that path, and the teaching skills and those sort of things. And then I also studied health promotion because that was more of a holistic approach that I was really interested in, which is what I do a lot now with the life coaching aspect, is about looking at all the different aspects of individuals, and that it isn't just about someone's physical health or just about their emotional health or just about their well-being or just about their family environment. It's everything. And so that's what I loved and was drawn to with health promotion, because it really looked at, I suppose, the preventative health model and holistic approach, so that you looked at all the different aspects of an individual and how the environment as well and everything else, you know, contributed to a person's life. So I was always interested in all that sort of stuff. Then post uni, no, before that, what really also drove it and got a lot of aha moments was that I decided to do my last semester in the US as an exchange. And I only really had one unit to finish off, and I was really drawn to do a human development unit. So a personal and human development unit. And I did a big paper that I had to write on self-esteem. And that was a big aha moment for me, that went, oh my God, everything in life stems from self-esteem and self-worth. And I was only 21 then. And so I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but this is an aha moment. This is the core of everything. And so I kind of had that belief, and I suppose I ran that through with everything that I did, but not on an obvious level. So I just went back and then landed an amazing job, full-time job in the corporate health area, where I did everything from like program management, project management, event staff, spoke, needs analysis, health assessments, ran the fitness centre, did all those things, which gave me the most amazing set of skills and ability to work with all different types of people. From all different types of backgrounds and ages, and men and women, and I just loved it. And it also, because I had a health title, it gave me, a lot of people came for that counselling, even though it wasn't like, that wasn't my title, but I had a closed door office, so that's just what people tended to do. Yeah. And I was naturally always quite good at that anyway. But what it did do was make me realise in a really big way that doing things that were functional and real were what was important to me. So I couldn't run a gym or a fitness centre or give fitness programs purely for aesthetic benefit. So all of that started to come in, and I suppose that self-worth stuff was a part of that. So it was about looking at your health, looking at your well-being, and let's do something that fits into your life. So some exercise program that actually benefits you for your day-to-day life. Now, most people want to lose weight, that's why they're doing exercise, and that's fine. And there's certainly benefits of that for the health perspective and for your self-image and self-worth as well. But I never, ever would focus on that. That was always a bonus. So when I left all of that, and this leads on, I suppose, in a long way to where Babyweights came. No, actually, prior to Babyweights, I started, like, what led on to that was that I'm so into this functional fitness and making things easy and accessible for people to actually live a healthy lifestyle. Mm-hmm. What about all these mums? They're not doing anything, a lot of them, because unless they've got a whole lot of money and they're getting a nanny to go and get their own personal training or go to the gym. But what about all the ones that can't do that? And at that time, there wasn't a lot of stuff where you can bring your baby, which there is now. So I started a class for mums and babies, an exercise class. And within that, because I had such a strong background on individual health needs, I refused, and I had a lot of integrity with everything that I did, and integral, and responsibility in what I'm actually giving. So I know it took a lot more of my time, but I made sure that every single person that came into that program, that I saw them on a one-on-one. Mm-hmm. That we did physical health testing before that they started, that we checked about, where they were emotionally, their risk of postnatal depression, had they had it. All of those things became really important. So all of a sudden, again, I was looking at the emotional and the physical elements together. And it just realised that everything I did with all of that. And so I ran those classes for about 6 years, and then felt this real need that not everyone can make the classes. Things happen, babies get sick, people need something to do that's really easy and just fun. Mm-hmm. And I went through my own mild postnatal depression as well. So for me, sometimes I didn't want to just lie on the floor and ga with the baby. Like, I wasn't good at that. Mm-hmm. Yet you want to bond with them at the same time. So I was really active and wanted to do something that I could lie on the floor and do all of that, but at the same time, it was good for me too. Mm-hmm. So that's where Babyweights really came in. So, really developing a product that was safe. So it hit the integrity part and responsibility part of exercise for postnatal women, because there was so many personal trainers out there really doing more damage than good for postnatal mums. So that was a real, I could rant about that. Yeah. But, so I came up with a way to devise a product that helped mums bond with their baby and get the physical benefits at the same time. It wasn't hard, it was easy, it was accessible, it was fun, and it just didn't make exercise and self-care difficult. Mm-hmm. And obviously with that, I then started to do a lot of health coaching for mums and wellbeing, and then got on to doing some online programs with the wellbeing. So, I did my back after my second child, so I couldn't be as physical with my life. So then it sort of honed more in on the business stuff. Mm-hmm. So then I started to learn so much about how to do online programs and how to do sales funnels and how to do all these different things. So yeah, it sort of all developed.
And so now, yeah, it's amazing how it's progressed and again through stages of your life and how it's reflected in what you do, because now you do living wealthy as well.
Yeah, it's the wealthy living.
Wealthy living.
Yeah, it was interesting because that was my business name for 15 years. From when I left the corporate world and was doing all the mums wellbeing, I was still doing corporate health consulting, which I still am today. So I did that in a variety of capacities, from the business development side to the going in and giving seminars and testings and devising, programs and stuff. So I always use that name only on the top of invoices. I didn't really otherwise use it, because I was the consultant, but I never really used it under a business name except for on invoices. Mm-hmm. And then when I was starting to do, like I described before, all the online programs and all that stuff, I was like, oh my God. And that's when I became in the world of online business. I went, oh my God, everybody's caught in a digital bubble. Mm-hmm. Where's the connection? Like, what's happening? And it's happening to me too. I'm spending so much time on the computer, so much time on like social media sites. And I just felt, what's going on? Like, people aren't connecting in real life. And prior to that, when all my jobs, I was connecting in the jobs all the time, like real like person to person. And that brought so much more joy with it and more growth with it. And I was like, okay, I need to do something about this. I've got so much event management experience. Mm-hmm. I've got experience with connecting, getting a whole lot of different practitioners and letting them collaborate to do something, because I've done that in the corporate area, running a lot of expos and stuff like that and programs. And connection is just, it's wellness. So like I said, and you gave me my intro, that I've got the mantra that connection is medicine. And I truly believe that. So all of a sudden I just felt a strong draw without a lot of thought that I had to start this collective wisdom series of wealthy living. So at the time I was doing that, I suppose it was reflecting back on what I want as my business name again. And then it was like, my actual old business name of Wealthy Living, which is WELL, fits with everything that I do. And it's ultimately, my goal is to help people live a wealthy life. So a life full of wellness. And wellness, again, came from that health promotion model of meaning really life, meaning really everything that contributes to the way that you live and the choices you make. So, yeah, I just felt really, really drawn that I had to do this collective wisdom series. And And so with a really, really short lead time, I just did it. And I knew I had to do it. And I didn't even know exactly why. My intuition was like, you just have to do this. You've got the skills to do it. You've got the ability to do it. And I'd also gone to a number of networking events, and I couldn't stand the ickiness and the sales pitch approach, and it just didn't feel authentic. So it was really obvious to me that there was a need for an event where people could come and truly, truly be themselves. And I knew that I could hold a space that allowed people to really feel like they could be themselves. I'd done it in my profession over and over again, whether it be in the corporate environment, whether it be in my mum's wellbeing stuff, where I'd worked with so many different people from so many different backgrounds, of so many different ages, and all of them felt really comfortable to just be, whether it be silly, whether it be, you know, feel like they knew a lot about something or they didn't. So I knew that I was able to hold that space for people to come and be true to themselves and therefore connect on a real level.
Yeah, and I've heard, like, so we're in some of the same groups on Facebook, and your gatherings are growing, and they have such a great reputation in connecting women and but being real and actually delving into each one as a person and being able to bring their talents to the forefront and getting speakers in to help them in different areas of their life or business. And, you know, I think that's one of your one of your gifts is to do that, because these women are just saying, you know, the space you create is just phenomenal. You are holding it for them to come and, you know, be on the same level as everyone else, to receive and to give and to connect. So how do you feel when you see that, I guess, your idea coming into fruition and seeing these women actually gain so much from it?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so, I leave every session with such an expanded heart. Like, I just, honestly, I know it might sound a little bit woo woo or whatever, but I really leave going, oh my God, I just love this event. I don't care, even if I didn't make any money from it, I just love it. Yeah. And I love the women that it attracts. And, you know, there is a diverse amount of women, like different women that come, and they all are all soulful. I mean, everybody's soulful in their own way. Some people just have it more on the forefront.
Yeah.
But, you know, it really, I really love it. And it's interesting because before each one, I hate the hustle. I hate the hustle. I just hate it. And, you know, you have people say to you, but, you know, if you believe in what you do and you know the benefit and value it gives everyone, then that should make the hustle easier, because, you know, you want everyone to be a part of it. But that is true, but at the same time, I still hate the hustle. I just want people to trust that it's great and just to come along and give themselves permission to take that time out of their daily to-do lists and come. But I don't want to ever have to convince anyone to do that. I don't want to ever convince anyone to do that. It's not my job to convince anybody. It's everyone's got to make their own choices. But even though beforehand it feels like far out, like, oh my God, maybe I should just give up on this whole thing, because do I have to promote again? Oh my God, this month's finished and next month I've got to promote again. But then every time I do it, I go, oh my God, I know exactly why I do this. I just love it. And you're right, like the feedback has been phenomenal. And to hear women, I love facilitating conversations. You know, public speaking isn't a problem for me. I've never been scared of it. I've never got anxious or nervous about it. I've done it for years, speaking on a whole lot of health topics at companies to employees. But actually, I prefer facilitating conversations than just speaking knowledge. I prefer facilitating conversations that get other people to access their wisdom. And this gives a real opportunity to do that. And when I come out and I hear and I see people write me things or post things to say that Lisa holds this magical space and Lisa's so good at, providing an environment, like you said, that enables women to be comfortable and to be able to be in their truth, and that it doesn't feel, it almost, I suppose people have described it as, wasn't necessarily my intention per se, but people have described it like a women's circle with a business event, networking event all in one. And I suppose that it is in a way, because it gives that safe feeling of a women's circle of just to be able to share from a space of truth. And then it has the added element of being able to expand your knowledge, access your wisdom, grow, so that you can have that ripple effect in your day-to-day life, at home and with your relationships and with your children and with your friends and all of those things, but also in your business. So it's not just a personal development workshop, even though it has a lot of personal development workshop elements in it. And it's not just a business networking event where you get to tell everybody what you do. And it just has that combination, which is why it's a really hard thing to often market, because you're not marketing one or the other. And so sometimes when people just want that business thing because they want to go to expand their business networks, they might feel, oh, do I really want to go to this because it's a bit, do I need the personal development side, or do I need a talk on self-care, or, that sort of element. It's not hitting my core business need, all that sort of stuff. So they might not be necessarily so attracted to the event, yet it would do wonders for them if they came, because it does have that ability to connect you to expand your network too. It's just in a more, I suppose, heart-centered, soulful way that enables you to connect from a place of truth and real, which sometimes I suppose those sort of people would feel too vulnerable to do. But I feel that I hold that space that enables them, when they do get there, to have the courage for that vulnerability.
Definitely. And I feel too, like with what you do, we're on the forefront. The heart-centered entrepreneurs are on the forefront, because, we are changing the way business is being done. And like you said, you used to go to these network marketing that used to be about the hard sell, doing all this, blah, blah, blah. And that's what doesn't resonate, and I think it's women understanding that you don't have to do it the masculine way. Coming together, networking together in a soulful, connected, heart-centered space and looking after yourself. Like, self-care comes into growing a business. Self-care goes into, growing your confidence in yourself. If we nourish our soul first, we can then overflow into all areas of our lives and allow abundance to run in every aspect, our relationships, our career, our business, our family, all that kind of stuff. So it's all interconnected, but again, we're changing the way that it's been seen to be done, because before you were separate to your business. You do the hard sell. There's a program of doing things, but that's not how it's done anymore. And that's, a lot of people are moving away from wanting to a mass produced product, or, whatever it is. They want someone with a story who they can connect with on a real emotional, deep level. Hence why there's all these people going, I have a passion, I have a journey. I don't know how to do it, because it's like a new way of being, isn't it? That is getting more and more not popular, but there's a change, there's a shift happening within the world, and it's women like you who are creating this space for this to allow to happen, to become normal in their life rather than woo-woo.
Yeah, totally. Because I suppose I see myself as the middle road. Like, I practice, well, I've always been into personal development. So I've always been into I've journaled since I was a teenager. So I've always been into personal development, and I suppose now personal development and spirituality are sort of locking a little bit. Yeah, I've got my whole things about that too, but that's like a whole nother conversation. But because I am that middle road, and I do, I suppose I walk in lots of circles, and I feel that I can relate to people in lots of different worlds. And I think that's why maybe I attract people that are on the woo-woo end. I don't really like that term, but the more alternative, or just probably more maybe energetic healers, and that sort of a world, which is the world where you see what you can't see. You hear what you can't hear. That sort of a world. And then I also relate really well to people that are more maybe need to see what they can see, hear what they can hear. The more, I suppose, I think they're both grounded in different ways, but the more, I suppose, scientific or straight or mainstream, I suppose. Although I don't know, mainstream is also changing what mainstream is now as well. So what is mainstream when everything's shifting? I think I do relate to both, because I am that middle road. Like I did, for years, like I was not spiritual at all. Like I really needed proof. Don't tell me spirit knows. What's spirit, Like I know, and I have to see it. And then years later, like I now really believe in just surrendering and allowing the flow, and just trusting my intuition, or trusting, for things to just be, even if I don't have the proof. Yeah. So I suppose that's accessing the feeling a lot more. Rather than the head. And so because I do really believe in the connection, I suppose there's that connection again, internal connection between the head and the mind and the feeling in the body. I think that they're both interconnected, and they're both really needed. And I don't believe in the separation of just one being necessarily being driven just by one. We get given a brain to think for a reason. But it's also about how does it make us feel. And so because I do sit in that middle road, I think that's why I attract people from both worlds, and I bring, I suppose, grounding to all of my principles. So even if the principles are more spiritual principles, I bring a grounding to the spiritual principles. And therefore people can bring those spiritual principles and say, all right, well, how do I use them in my human experience? Because that's what I'm going through now. Like I'm here in this reality, in this dimension, and I'm having a human experience. So that's all good and well to go into that woo-woo land, but how do I use it for my human experience today in this world in a really grounded way? So yeah, I think that you're right about things shifting to that more heart-centered, more woo-woo world, but we still need the groundedness, and we still need to know how to apply it and how to integrate it into our worlds today. And I suppose that I'm so strong with all of that sort of stuff that when it comes to providing a platform in these collective wisdom events, or whether it be one-on-ones or small groups, whatever the platform is, that I bring that middle road to the platform. And that's why I think people then from both worlds really are able to feel comfortable just being themselves.
Yeah, amazing. You just, like I said, a strong, empowered woman who's helping people find a way, in their life, in their business, to create, what it is that they're wanting with truth and authenticity. So I would love for you to share what services you provide and where people can find you.
Okay, so I provide, well, obviously I run these monthly events. So these Wealthy Living Collective Wisdom events that are exactly that, all about the collective wisdom. So we've had a long chat already about that. And they're the last Friday of every month in Melbourne, in Bran. And I generally put a Facebook event page for that. There's an Eventbrite page for that. And you can find it through the Wealthy Living website, which is www.wealthyliving.com.au. And that's WELL, so well.
Yeah.
So you can find it through the Wealthy Living website, which is still a bit of a not official website yet, because I've decided to put more energy into what I do than into the back end tech at the moment. Especially, you know, since it wasn't that long ago that I decided to go with that branding. But all of the links and all the ability to find what you need to find is there. So that's the event. I do a lot of one-on-one work with people. So whether this year just happens to be a year where a lot of people have wanted business clarity. So they've come with a whole lot of ideas or things that they're passionate about, and some of them have felt really heart-centered for them, and some of them have felt really just that they're great in the lucrative manner, but they doesn't necessarily feel good. So how to bring that all together and get some clarity around a direction forward. So I've done a lot of sessions with people on that. So really working out their visions and combining their passions with their personality, with their life circumstances, and their desires, and how to come and do simple steps and actionable things to move forward. But again, it's helping them access what they already know. They have all the knowledge in them, because if they're doing all those things, they've already got the knowledge. They're just in a little bit of a transition. So I'm helping them with that. But I also help people a lot with their lifestyle as well and their transitions. So that goes from helping both males and females in their transition of like school to what next phase. Like I've helped them in their gap year. So that real transition, again, the same sort of thing. Well, I finished school now. I could go on to uni. I don't really want to right now. I'm working, but it's not fulfilling me, but I don't know what else to do. So really, again, at that stage, and I love working with people at that age, because then they're not dealing with the core issues of self-worth in their 40s and late 30s. They're actually starting at 20 and 19 and actually helping them identify some of their limiting patterns and their beliefs about themselves, and that they're not conscious of at that age in the way that they even go to a party and interact. And if they're just like, you know, at that age being a people pleaser, or their core self is not strong, and they thought they were because they were really confident. So actually helping them identify a lot of things about themselves in order to make those decisions to move forward in what they want to do, and feel the confidence more than anything else in themselves to make those decisions. So work with those. We already discussed working with mums and mums wellbeing, and again is like a lot of mums that I've worked with have been on their more on the health side of things, so their nutrition and their exercise and how to fit their self-care into their life. But also I've worked with mums also going, well, I sort of want to go and do a business or go back to work, but I've got the family, and how do I balance that, and what feels right for me, and what's the circumstance of their life, like, you know, what is their outer life like? Have they got a partner? Have they got a husband? Are they working? Do they need to make more money, or do they just need to follow something as a hobby, or what it is? So again, that transition. So I do a lot of work with a diverse amount of a range of people, but it all comes back to the same sort of stuff. So a lot of it is the transitions. And I have a passion, which I haven't done a lot of yet, but I really think I will move into doing more of, and that's working back to the transition again of girls into women. And by that I don't mean setting up red tent circles, like that's my area. Yes, I want them to embrace their body and embrace what their body does and the changes it's going through and how to look at that. But no, I'm not going to do initiations of menstruating, you know, like that's not my area. But I do, my daughter just turned 12 and I did this fabulous day with her and ended up doing a 3-generation women's circle where it really, again, was all about getting, so it was all of her friends, mine, her aunties, grandparents, great aunts, and that collective wisdom again, that collective wisdom, and to respect the connection between all the generations and the responsibility of moving into the womanhood. And at 12, but I come from a Jewish background, so that's done at 12 as a bat mitzvah. So yeah, that kind of rite of passage, but in a way that, again, helping them with their transition and helping them feel connected to their community and to themselves.
Amazing. That's such a beautiful thing. And it's just limitless in what you can do, and you can help women in all areas and men and people, but just, I guess, like you said, you're the transition, you're the middle road to help bring everything together, find clarity and direction. So Lisa, I just want to say thank you so much for being on my Inspired Biz conversation. You're an amazing woman, and I am just so honored that you, have come into my life and that I got to do this with you today.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having me, and thanks for having me have the opportunity to share about so much that I'm so passionate about, and I know that we align so much on so many of our passions and what we're trying to achieve, and bringing that feeling of empowerment and self-worth to people's lives so that they can be more joyful, that they can project less on other people and have more inner peace and bring therefore a greater joy and peace to the world and make it a better place to live. And I love that so many people are actually looking to do that big why, just in lots of different modalities. But thank you so much, Tammie, and I know how aligned we are, and I hope that maybe we might collaborate on something and do something awesome that sort of hits all this why, this bigger why. And so thank you.
I'd love to. I love collaborating. So it's one of my passions is working with other passionate women. So it's definitely. So everyone, we'll send links where you can find Lisa, and keep in touch. We're always here for, if you have any inquiries about what Lisa does or where to find her to, always message me, or you can contact Lisa through her Facebook pages. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, Lisa.